Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time, please like, subscribe, feel at home. What I'm gonna do today or this evening is I want to backtest AUDUSD. Now, if you guys checked out my previous video, NZD-JPY, I did a backtest and potential projection for where NZD-JPY was headed to. Wait, why isn't it typing? Okay, it is. And we can see this was my analysis. Okay, I backtested this pair for the month of July, from the beginning of the month, and then I gave a sell potential breakout sell structure, sell order or pending order at this level here. So this is a trade I actually called on the New York session today in my signals group. And so far, I think we are in about, let me look at the 30 minutes. So far, we are in, you see this sell, this is an 80 pip sell drop there. And right now we're in about 23 pips in profit. So this was based off my analysis. Like I said, this was this is a swing setup. And my final target would be 74.136. So far we're 23 pips in blue, guys. New York session on Tuesday. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah. By tomorrow, the end of the week, I'll do a recap. But today, this evening, rather, I want to look at AUDUSD, another pair that I do like looking at. And I'm just going to back test it maybe from March, let's say, still on the daily, so that you guys kind of have an idea how I look at pairs. So let's see. Sorry, guys, I have a bit of a cold, so I may sound nasty right now. Forgive me. So I want to backtest this pair and then kind of like, maybe I'd even push it a bit further so that, it's less bias. Hopefully it can. So AUD, so this is what? This is the dated 25th January 21. So, okay. So 25th January 21, basically AUD-USD has been on a buy, okay? So if you watch my previous video, this is usually my trade criteria, okay? This is what I use to gauge whether I'm getting into a trade or not. So my first criteria is I have to find the directional bias. And then number two, I need to look at some price action. What is the key price action? What is price action telling me? And then I look at my entry trigger. What is entry trigger indication? What is actually giving me that impetus to jump into a trade indication? My cold is killing me. So entry trigger indication, yes, so that's or indicator, or just basically why buy or sell, like, or where to buy or sell, like what trigger, what is giving me the idea to either buy or sell, and where, like that's what I mean by entry trigger. Okay, so this are basically the three items. Okay, now, so for starters, obvious AUD has been pushing up. I mean, if I was to just draw a trend line, I don't need to, but just if you're a beginner on my channel, maybe you don't know what a trend line is. That's what a trend line is. So the trend has been up. And then we see, if I look, okay. Yeah, so sorry, my internet is a bit slow. So loading. So the high of this level was in 2018. I mean, that's a significant piece of information, okay? So this is 2018 in January. So AUD has not broken this level since, it hasn't been here since January 2018. And it just got to the 25th April 18th level, which is about here, okay, where price actually bounced off of. So the fact that price didn't exactly break this level, okay, means that possibly chances of price pushing any further are not necessarily possible, or high probability. Possible, yes, but high probability. Low probability, it will break to the upside. Okay, that's basically now what I'm thinking. And then when I look at it on a closer perspective, I'm trying to also, again, just keeping in mind my trade criterias, I want to look at some price action to also give me an indication of where price is going to be headed. Right now, I'm seeing like, okay, we've been bouncing off this level since we got here January 21st, I mean 6th January this year. And this is where we're at on the 25th of January. So kind of now beginning to just reject that level, but not so much, you know, so we are just seeing a bit of consolidation. So I will like be like, okay, let's see, remember I'm back testing before I decide whether I want to jump into anything. So let me just see what happens to give me an idea, but I think we could be in consolidation the way it's looking. I'm seeing some bearish engulfing candle beginning to form here. So what's happening is price got to this key level and is beginning to push away from this level, okay? But we're still in this uptrend. So in fact, it just looks like we have rejected this trend. Again, in case you don't know what I mean by a trend, let me just draw it up so as you guys can see. So we can see that price is just respecting the push up. So let's see. Okay, and we are pushing. So what has happened here now is, first of all, so let me just remove this because I want to mark out a level here. Okay, so what happened is price pushed up, rallied, came here, rallied up, and then this is the end. So this is kind of like the buyer's climax. This is where the buyers are done, and now the sellers have taken control. Okay, please note that this is the 2018 structure. Okay, and you can even mark it out in case you want to remind yourself. So let me just maybe even do that just for the purpose of this video. I don't usually do that, but just for this video so that you can understand. So that's the 2018 structure. Okay, so that you don't forget that this is the high. So price hasn't gotten here in a while. So this is also a strong level. And this is also a 2018 structure, okay? So price is now pushing against that, showing that we don't have the strength to keep on rallying to the top. And so what I'm expecting is like, this is, you know, a reaction from this here. And now we may try to push in, okay? I'm seeing some other interesting levels below here, but there's also another interesting level below here, okay? So this will ultimately, let me just draw it out. So ultimately, right? But I want to see a bit more so that I can make my decision, okay? So what we are seeing is another interesting example of price action here. So price pushed up, came down, and now has engulfed this previous zone and is pushing to the upside. So chances are price will push up here. If it doesn't break to the upside, I'll probably want to take a sell, okay? But I'm anticipating that this is actually a good buy criteria for this, because this is actually a rejection, a second touch on this zone when price broke out. So also, if you were to take a buy here, you probably do okay. In fact, if I was to just like put a pending order there and see how well we do, and then just put my TP below previous zone there. So let me see. We see that price does push up, okay? And then still moving up, and then in that, so we've basically gotten back to our level of structure. So we've actually bagged your 194 pips. So this was not the trade I was gonna take, okay? But why I actually anticipated a good opportunity here was because price, when price broke structure here, okay, and pushed up, it came back down to this level. Now, this is usually a very high probability setup. So that's why a high probability rejection setup, meaning that it's going to come and bounce off. And then you just put your stop loss below the previous low here or below this low here. So this was a clean trade, okay? It ran for, so it initiated on 1st of February and reached 190 pips in around 16th of February. So in 2 weeks, you've done 194 pips. This is a swing trade opportunity, okay, that you could have taken. Now for me, what I want to do now is I'm looking for, because I'm seeing rejection up here. So I'm not really keen on taking any more buys. Okay, so this is why literally this was a good exit. That being said, I'm now looking to see, okay, fine. So what I'm seeing right now is like some price action. We are seeing a bearish engulfing candle happening here. What I'm going to do is just throw my fib here. Okay. Throw my fib here. Now, what I want to see is a push lower and a retest back in here. And then we can now take this sell and probably just take it to the next zone. So that's what I'm waiting for. Okay, I'm waiting for that. So let's just also look at, okay, so we are seeing, okay, now we're seeing some interesting move. Price got to the 38.2, rejected barely, and then just broke structure above here. So now this changes my setup. So I'm not yet ready for the sell, okay? And I hope you guys are understanding why. I told you that I wanted to first see, once it got back in here, I wanted to see it get back below, back into the zone, and then form some price action here for me to continue to the downside. But now we are still seeing like, you know, this is, you know, a break of structure here. Okay. So I'm just waiting because I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, this is probably an up thrust. So I'm just gonna mark it out here to keep me. So I'm seeing an up thrust happening there. Okay. Meaning just a sudden push above my structure here. And remember, this was my initial resistance because this is where the buyers stopped. And then now the buyers came back in. And let's see what happens, okay? Are we still gonna keep pushing up? Okay, so we're still pushing up. And we're probably, okay. So that being said, guys, for me, this is kind of like, what I was anticipating, right? So this here is the nullification of the push to the upside. So yes, this was a good rally up, okay? However, this bearish engulfing candle nullified this trade. So technically, you would be able to comfortably take, I believe this was a fake out. So I'll put my stop loss up above here. Actually, that's a really high stop loss. And possibly, I mean, that's a really high risk trade. Well, that's about 2.67, actually not too bad. But yeah, that would be where you put your stop loss just above the previous high. And then for me, I would put my take profit just at the next point, because I anticipate with this kind of reaction, we're going to see a drop of about 424 pips. Okay, so 2.7 risk to reward, which is not bad. But this can actually end up dropping all the way down. But for now, based on what I'm seeing right now, let's just see if this is what's happening. So this is an up thrust. Could be a fake out up there. So we are still in this trade. And yes, we can see now we've gotten to this level. Anticipating we continue to the downside. So there's a bit of rejection. We're going back. So if you were holding this trade, you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I was in good blue. Now I'm back in not so good blue. So there we go. So guys, as you can see, this is all about patience. Okay, so let me just yeah, so you guys can see. So let me just measure this, right? So clean trade there. And now we're about 300 pips in profit. So that's not bad. You could take your profit there. Okay. I'm anticipating this is going to come a bit lower. And we can see we actually did make it to about 330 pips. So there's a bit of rejection here, which is fine. So we may see a push up. Okay. So now let me explain something. We are in a bit of a consolidation. So something interesting is happening here. We've retested this zone again. What I'm anticipating is price is going to push up and then push down. So I would probably anticipate another push to the upside. Okay, we're in April now, and there we go. Yeah, so this is what I was looking at. We have actually retested this level again. So this was a potential, you know, kind of like a push spring to the upside that would have gotten you about, let's see, another 190 pips. So you're just basically, you know, it's not one of those, I mean, this is one trade, it's a second trade. So this is in a period of since January, or is it, yeah, since January here. Actually, this is February 25th. You take one trade there, it closes in March, 1 month, okay? Take another trade here. If you decided to take it here, you'd be in this trade for a couple of days, probably most of the month of April, March, April, and then now it finally broke out. And by the mid 20th April, we were back 190 pips. So this is your second trade. So guys, I'm just trying to show you how you can just swing trade 1 or 2 times in a month and still achieve everything if you are a scalper. I mean, if you are scalping every day, it'd still be the same thing, right? Okay, maybe not the same thing exactly, but if you're a scalper and you're looking for 190 pips in a month or 100 pips in a month, then you can just take one position and hold it for a month, or you can scalp in between. So I'm just showing you how I would take this as swing trade. So now something you need to notice, or we need to notice, is that price is actually beginning to push lower. Okay, in as much as we're now, it's beginning to push lower. So my anticipation is, especially if I had gotten in up here and I'm still holding this trade, I can hold this trade until we literally drop like it's hot. Okay, so after this push up and this rejection here, so remember, my price action is also informing me there's rejection upside here. We are, respecting the lower high structure, and then there's a bearish engulfing candle here. I could actually be very bold about this and just, as soon as that candle closes, and just take my trade there and put my, previous high there, somewhere above the previous high there. This is actually very aggressive. Possibly a better stop loss would be up here, but let's see what happens, because I definitely don't control the market. So technically, a better stop loss for me would have been above that level of structure, as you can see, because I got stopped out. But if I was still in this swing trade, I'm awesome, right? I'm still in the trade. And then obviously here I'm at break even. I'm a bit in a down. I mean, if I'm still swing trading, and then we see this rejection, we see engulfing candle happening. So we are now in this range, guys. This pair is still pushing lower, in my opinion. I'm still biased for the downside. So that's basically what I'm looking at. We are seeing the price action giving us the story. We're seeing rejection candles. We're seeing bearish engulfing candles. And there we go. So really just in a sideways, ugly space here. But my bias is still down. Okay, guys, there we go. And finally, guys, we are hitting target. So if you notice something, guys, if you waited for this trade, okay, this was a long trade. This was a slow trade. Okay, so this is 29th March to June. This is like 4 months. This is a lot of time. But we've seen, would have taken an opportunity here, would have taken another one here, a second one, would have taken a third trade here. Okay. So this is like 3 trades in 3 months that would have given you over 300 to 400 pips. Okay. And what we are seeing now is we are kind of in, price is kind of distributing, like there's distribution happening. There are a lot of sell positions up here. So price is actually pushing lower. And at this point in time, my bias to continue trading lower continues. Okay. I'm still bearish. So all this time, guys, I have just been bearish. My trend is down. Okay. Price action is showing me down movement potentially. And then my entry trigger is, we are seeing this level here being retested. When I see some price action, I'll want to enter at this level of structure, just over here, around there, then possibly. So let's see what happens there. So there we go. I've been triggered. My trade has been triggered. This is now on the 29th of June. I've made like maybe 97 pips, which is not so bad. I got pulled back into the trade. I'm still in blue. This is now 133 pips. We're still pushing low, as you can see, guys. Okay. And finally, this is where now you can begin to close your trade or wrap it up, because now you've gotten some really good, I mean, this is 253 pips, right? Now, this is where we are at, guys. This is where we are at. And honestly, this is 27th of July, okay? When I look at this, I'm still gunning for this level. So I would take this all the way to this level. So we've done about, from this last entry, okay, we've done about 253 pips, okay? With some drawdown here, we kind of got caught up in around 2nd of July, and then now finally we dropped. But if you're, so this is just going to test, in terms of swing trading, it just tests your patience, okay? That's basically it. But what I know is I want this price to push lower, come and retest this previous level of structure. And as I told you guys, this would be a very high probability potentially for our rejection setup. Okay, so I would also have a pending order for a rejection setup to previous level of structure. So possibly 200 pips, 250 pips thereabouts, with the 90 pip stop loss. So 90 or less, let's say 70, just let's say 80 pips, just below. This is a 3 risk to reward, right? So this is the 27. My take is that tomorrow we'll see a continuation of AUDUSD to this level of structure. And then if it does get to this level, and this level here being 0.70734, that's my TP, that's my buy limit order. It's also my TP, final TP, but it's also my buy limit level, okay? Buy limit, oh, sorry, final TP or buy limit level, okay? This here. Okay, so we'll see what happens, but I hope you guys are seeing how you can just swing trade these pairs, okay? Rather than chasing the market all the time with scalping or intraday. It's fantastic. You can actually make more money scalping because you can, manage your lot sizes and everything. But if you're one of those people who doesn't have time to always look at your screen, just put your setup, forget about it for a month, and you still bag 100 to 200 pips every single month. So guys, if this video has been of value and you want me to maybe back test another pair this week, please let me know. I will look forward to your comments. Yeah, and as always, guys, promote me, support me every time you guys share my videos or view them or like them. YouTube does its algorithm thing, and more people then have access to seeing the videos and more people are able to get value. So thank you and have a lovely evening, guys. I hope to see you soon. Bye.